Hello book lovers, and welcome back or welcome to Nat Cat's Bookish Cafe. I'm here today to start my week 2 December reading vlog. Alright guys, so today is the 9th of December. I'm sorry that I'm not in the center, but I will be putting images here in a little bit, so I'm sorry if that annoys you. It'll be all worth it in the end. But this is my second week vlogging in December. I'm just doing weekly vlogs, but I am also on top of that doing a bit of a different challenge every week. If you want to check out what I did in the first week, which was reading 100 pages a day, or trying to read 100 pages a day, I will go ahead and link that up above and down below as well. This week's challenge is going to be reading the number of pages that equates to the number of times I picked up my phone in the previous week. So apparently I pick up my phone quite a bit, but for the most part, I do think that this week might be a little bit easier other than today, because the numbers are, I think, kind of between 50 and 110. So I won't have to read over 100 pages every day. That being said, today, Saturday, if I want to succeed, need to read 110 pages. So this would be my hardest day, which is unfortunate because I'm probably going to be kind of busy today, so I'm not super optimistic, but we will try. That being said, if you did not watch my December TBR, I will also have that linked and you can check that out. I did it a little bit different than I usually do because I did a bingo board in which I filled 12 spaces with books, and I'm trying to get one horizontal and one vertical bingo in order for me to consider this a successful TBR. Here is an image of what the bingo board looks like at this moment. So as of the end of last week, sorry if you were going to go back and watch that, that might have been a little spoilery, but oh well. The book that I'm currently working on is Junkyard Blues by Cole McCade. I am 83 pages into this book, and this is the second book in a series where we are following two homicide detectives at the Baltimore Police Department. We are following Malcolm and Sean, and they just recently started working together. Like, this is book 2. These books are relatively short, but we are still only less than 2 weeks into their relationship. They just recently met on a case that was discussed in book 1, and they are now going into their second case together. This is also a queer romance, but it is relatively slow burn. There's like no romance in the first book, and while you can definitely tell that the characters have unwanted feelings for each other, there still hasn't really been any romantic aspects to this story yet. But I have read Cole McCade in the past and really enjoyed their work, so I'm really happy to be reading another series from them, even though the series is like 11 books long. Seeing as they are police detectives in the homicide department, obviously these books follow these detectives as they try to solve different murders, and we are also following them as they're going through some personal issues, especially here in the second book. Both of them experienced some trauma in the first book because the victims of those crimes were queer men, and they are queer men themselves, and it just really hit home because it took them a while to solve the case, and so they are feeling some guilt, especially Malcolm, about the fact that so many young men died before they were able to put a stop to the killer. So we are definitely getting some mental health representation in this book. This book has quite a bit of representation in it. I know that Malcolm is Persian, because I think he was speaking Persian. He's also Jewish. He's 10 years older than Seonjae, so you could consider it a bit of an age gap romance. Seonjae is Korean. He's also been described as asexual and autistic. So if you're looking for any of those representations in your books, you will find them here. I absolutely love the characters. They are both kind of off-putting in their own way, but there's just something about them where I just want to get to know more about them. And maybe it's because they want to get to know more about each other, and so you're just really getting that vibe where you're like, oh, this person's so interesting and I just want to learn all their secrets and how they tick and all that. So the author is definitely creating some really, maybe not the most likable characters, but also the most likable. I like them, but they're not likable, if that makes sense. I also am a big fan of Cole McCade's writing, so I'm happy to be back in one of his stories. That being said, if I want to succeed at my goal today, I need to get to page 193. Will I succeed? We're gonna try. I'm waiting for my flat iron to get hot. It's probably already hot by now. So I'm gonna straighten my hair, and then I'm going to film the only video that I need to film other than obviously my vlog clips. And that is my 2024 goals video, which hopefully won't take too long, but I do have 25 goals I need to talk through, but some of them are pretty straightforward, so they probably won't require too much chit-chatting. But other than that, I would like to finish editing the week 1 vlog so I can go ahead and upload that and not worry about it. And I know my mom mentioned going to some Christmas markets possibly, and I would like to do some Christmas shopping this weekend. And then obviously I just have my usual chores. It would be great if I finally got my winter clothes down, because it is December 9th, as I mentioned, and I have not switched out my summer clothes for winter clothes. I mean, I have a few items in my closet that are suitable for like colder weather already, but I feel like I should get my winter clothes out because it's winter. So yeah, that is the plan. Some things that may happen today or at least this weekend. It is Saturday, and I will either update you later today or update you tomorrow. Hey guys, I am at the mall, or I'm leaving the mall. It was crazy. Honestly, I should just get any in-person shopping done in November, because once December hits, everyone is like, go, go, go with the Christmas shopping. Plus it's pouring rain outside, so hopefully you can hear me. I don't know how much noise my phone will pick up from all the rain pattering down on my car. But yeah, no, this is definitely the kind of day where you're like, let's shop at the mall, because there's nothing else to do unless you want to be stuck in the house. But I went in there for one reason. Unfortunately, they did not have it, so I decided to just pop over to H&M and look around, and I found a sweatshirt, and it says Chicago on it, and I think it says Gold Coast. I don't think I've ever been to Chicago, but I love this color, and it's just super cute, and it has like that really soft inside. So I was in heaven. All the other sweatshirts I checked or tried on were like just a little bit itchy, and I'm someone who like, there has to be zero itch from my clothing or I'm not gonna wear it, which is why I hate online shopping, because then I can't like feel the fabric or anything like that. So we got a sweatshirt for a place we've never been before. But that's okay. People wear clothes from places they've never been all the time. I then got this cute little necklace that has like little black hearts on it, and it's just small and gold, and it just caught my eye, so I bought it. And then I bought these 2 pairs of socks, which are the same but with color. And then they said it was buy 2 get 1 free, so I picked up these bad boys. So we got socks. I always try to wear kind of fun socks when I'm doing like my TBR board game, so I figured I'd pick up some new Christmassy ones, because I think the ones that I wore in my December TBR I had to throw away because they had holes on the bottom. They were dead. They were done. It was time for them to move on to their next life. So that is what I bought. And while I'm here, I just wanted to let you know that I read a little bit while I was eating lunch. I've only read 20 pages today, so I'm on page like 106, I believe, of Junkyard Blues, and I'm having such a great time. I love Cole McCade's writing. I feel like in the first book I wasn't paying as much attention to the writing because I was trying to like get my footing in the pacing of the story, but now I'm like in the story and I can really just enjoy the ride and enjoy the writing. There was a scene, Malcolm, he's not doing so well mentally, and so he decides to go to a bar he really likes to go to. It's a pretty classy bar, you know, a piano lounge, you can maybe almost consider it. There's like a little baby grand piano, and it was just described so cozy. The ambiance was on point, and he was flirting with the pianist, and they went home together, and it was just so hot, and it was written so well, and I was like, oh my god, his writing is like perfect. I love it so much. So I am having a really great time with that story. Obviously, once I get home, hopefully I can do a little bit more reading, even though I haven't done any editing today. I started off today a little bit slow. I stayed up kind of late last night, so bit of a slow morning, but still hoping to get some stuff done. I'm about to head to Barnes & Noble. I'm not sure if I'll do B-roll or anything if it's as crazy as it was at the mall. I'm not going to want to film or anything, but I'm not going shopping for myself. I'm going to see if I can get some gifts for other people because I love to gift books and all that, and then I'll pop over to Trader Joe's to grab my oat milk and see if they have any cheese that I like, goat cheese, because my mom recently bought a goat and brie cheese, and that was from the Co-op, but it was so good. So I'm gonna poke around Trader Joe's to see if they have anything that's not like ridiculously priced or something like that. But yeah, then I'll head home, probably do some editing, just finish up editing that vlog, and then maybe I'll just call it a day, and then tomorrow I'll do some chores and whatnot. So hopefully not too crazy of a weekend. You know, definitely wish I was at home and not out here in the rain battling the crowds, but you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Ring, ring, the Christmas bells, ring, ring. Swinging my shopping bag, singing. Oh, ring, ring, the Christmas bells, ring, ring. I don't know how much I spent on this bling, bling, but I don't care what it costs. I'm leaving no name uncrossed. I got a list in my coat pocket stash, 'cause when they open their gifts, their mood will instantly lift, 'cause loved ones mean so much more than my cash.
Alright, so I told a little lie. I did end up buying one book, Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson. This book is stunning. It's super short, but Riley Marie was like going off about how incredible this book is and how it's probably going to be one of her favorite books of the year. And it is sapphic, and it is like it almost seems like a cottagecore becomes horror kind of situation. So I'm definitely intrigued, and I'm happy to have this pretty little book on my shelves. Girl dinner, or actually girl dinner number 2, because I already had chili. But I didn't have breakfast, so I'm just making sure I get my 3 square meals a day. This is a goat cheddar, and this is a goat brie. I can't do cow milk, but I've fallen in love, unfortunately, with this very expensive cheese. And this is actually the sriracha chocolate that I think I featured in another vlog. And I just love eating that with pretzels, and obviously cheese and apples is the way to go. So, yippee! so it is Sunday. It is a little bit after 3:30 and I have just finished Junk Shop Blues. We did it, guys. Our first bingo is down, so that far right line is all filled out now, and I had to read 47 pages of that today to complete it. Before I go into my review, number wise, yesterday I read just 74 pages. I don't remember if I already updated you. That's one of the bad things about vlogging. My memory is so bad that I never remember what I updated you on or not, but I was supposed to read 110 pages yesterday. Did not do that, but so far I've read 47 pages today, and based off of December 2nd, I picked up my phone 80 times, so I need to read 80 pages, which means I need to read another 33 pages of the next book that I'm picking up, but I will let you know that in a moment. As far as Junk Shop Blues goes, I believe I'm gonna go ahead and give this 4 stars. I continue to enjoy a lot of the things that I mentioned I was enjoying throughout the story. I think the mystery aspect of it wrapped up around the 85% mark of the book, and then it went a little bit more into some of the mental health issues that our characters are having because of that traumatic experience that they had in the first book. It also kind of talked or touched a little bit on to this kind of overarching crime that Xianjie seems to be working in the background. So I don't really know what's going on with that yet, but there's definitely something he is looking into that is probably going to be very big and very dangerous. So I'm excited to learn more about that. And we also got to see that there may be some sketchy stuff happening with some other people on the sidelines. And I was like, what are you guys doing over there? That's suspicious. So lots of interesting stuff is happening. Someone from Malcolm's past seems to be coming back. I was able to verify what their relationship was. I guessed that's what it was, and they kind of verified that. And I have a feeling like I know why they kind of diverged in the past, but I'm assuming that's something we'll learn more about in future books. If it is what I think it is, that's very depressing. And I'm sure even if it isn't what I think, based off of how Malcolm is acting about it, it's going to be depressing no matter what. But that being said, I had a really great time with the story. I am very excited to continue with the series and to see Malcolm and Xianjie's relationship continue to develop. So we had a good time, 4 stars. And then my next book is going to be A Lady for a Duke. This book is like 450 pages. I want to say it's the longest book that's on my TBR this month, so I'm definitely a little intimidated by it, but it's also on my 5-star prediction list, and I've been going through those books way too slow. So we are finally getting to this book. This is a historical romance, and we are following a character who is a trans. They had kind of faked their death at war, or people assumed they were dead, and they were like, oh, that's great, you know, that works out perfectly, I will be dead. And then years later they return as a woman, and obviously no one knows about that, including their ex-best friend, who I'm assuming thought they were dead all these years, but they reunite and fall in love. So I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I'm super excited to get to it. I'm assuming I will probably be working on it most of the week, seeing as it is so long, but still happy to share my thoughts about it, and hopefully I like it as much as everyone else. For now though, I am going to take a little break from reading, and I'm going to work on my bingo board for my goals, and I'll probably watch some TV while I do that, and hopefully I can fit in a little bit of reading before I start cooking dinner at probably around 5:30. My parents are out right now, so depending on when they're expected home, I will be making my what I'm calling white girl empanadas. I'm using this pie crust that we have laying around. I was like, what can I make with this? And someone had mentioned that you can make empanadas with it. And I was like, I will give that a try. So we have some chorizo, we got some onions, some bell peppers, and then I'm gonna make some Mexican rice. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that turns out okay. But yes, I will let you know probably tomorrow. I'll check in with you tomorrow to let you know if I was able to read my 80 pages today. And I think tomorrow I only have to read 60 pages, so shouldn't be too stressful of a time. Wow.
These do not belong here.
Kitty towel, kitty towel. So it is Monday. It is around noon, probably noon exactly at this point. Me and Loki are here. I don't know if you can see him or if he's cut off, little baby boy. And I just wanted to come in and check in with you guys for a couple reasons. We'll get to the reading portion in a moment. I took today off work. It is December 11th, so some of you may or may not have known that there was a request for a worldwide strike to not work, to not go out, travel, purchase, really do anything, kind of try to shut things down to kind of get governments to stop the war or the genocide against the Palestinian people in Gaza. I usually try not to be overly political on my channel or anything like that. Obviously, in my personal life, I am a bit more involved in politics, but I am someone who does support the people of Palestine, the Palestinian people, people of Gaza, 100%. So I just wanted to take that stand today. I did also write to my senator today and make my annual donation to Medical Aid Palestine, and I will have them linked down below if you would like to make a donation to them as well. On top of that, while I do obviously support the end to the genocide and all the horrible things that are happening and have been happening for 75 plus years to the people of Gaza. I still 100% think that no harm should come to the Jewish community. I obviously still support the Jewish community and understand that they do not, that their values don't always align with that of the Israeli government. So obviously we don't want any sort of hate or violence against those groups or any innocent, civilian populations. But I just wanted to pop in, let you know why I'm off today and just what I'm standing for right now. That being said, you would think I would spend most of the day reading, and hopefully I do get some reading done, but I haven't done any so far. Today I have been working a little bit on editing, and then I was working on an Instagram post, and I am now gonna sit down and do a little bit of reading before I do some Christmas cookies. But as far as where I'm at in A Lady for a Duke, I did get to page 50 exactly yesterday, so I did achieve my goal of reading at least 80 pages because I read a total of 97 pages, so hoopla. And I believe today I only have to read 60 pages, so that would mean getting to page 110 at the very least. So far we are following Viola. She lives with her sister-in-law and obviously her brother because she gave up her title and all her wealth and everything to fake her death during the war at Waterloo so she can return as a woman. And I believe it has been a few years since that has happened, and she has been kind of isolating herself in this home. She seems to be accepted by her brother and his wife and their young son. However, she's very worried about going out and being recognized and people, judging her for being a trans woman. But one day her sister-in-law receives a letter from the younger sister of Viola's old friend, the Duke of Gracewood. And the sister is kind of talking about how terrible her life is right now because her brother is extremely depressed and has been depressed since he lost his best friend to the war. And so Viola and her sister-in-law have headed to the Duke's home so that they could kind of intervene to kind of get his younger sister out of the situation so she can get out in society. And Viola is obviously also hoping to get the Duke out of his depressive state. And when they show up, he's drunk, he's on laudanum, whatever that drug is that they used to give people for pain back in the day, and he is just very much not himself. He is in a terrible place. He feels a lot of guilt about Viola dying in the war, or he thinks Viola died in the war because it seems that he was the one that decided that they would go to the war. Being a duke, he probably could have gotten out of it, but I think he was trying to prove something to his father. And so when Viola died at the war, he was like, oh, I brought us here, and just is having trouble coming to terms with the fact that he may be responsible for his friend's death. So at this point, it is very clear that the two of them have a connection, but the Duke does not yet know that Viola is his old friend. So I'm enjoying it so far. It's made me laugh a few times. It's honestly made me tear up a little bit hearing the Duke talk about how much he loved his friend and the grief that he's feeling about that. So I think that it's really well written. It's also relatively quick to read. So I'm definitely confident that I will get my 60 pages in. But for now, I will go ahead and actually do some reading for the first time today. And then I'll see about baking some Christmas cookies, which I'm nervous about because I've never done that on my own, all by myself. It's a real adult move here at the age of 28, baking Christmas cookies all on my own. So I will take you along with that, and I will maybe check in with you later today once I reach that 60-page mark. so it is Monday evening, probably around 6 o'clock, and I am on page 114, meaning I have read my 60 pages for the day, so another success. I did think I was going to do a little bit more reading today, but ended up getting busy with other stuff. The Christmas cookies took longer than I expected. As I mentioned, I had never done it on my own before, and I ended up misreading the amount of flour, but luckily we were able to add that in at the end, and they turned out pretty good, if I may say so myself. They are one of my favorite cookies, so very happy to have those. As far as the book, I'm still really enjoying it so far. I think that the characters are really wonderful together. I really love every time that they are speaking to each other. They seem to have very deep and meaningful conversations, especially about trauma and grief. And our character, Duke of Gracewood, is going through some issues with addiction because he was using opium, I believe, to help with his mental and physical pain that he was experiencing, and he's trying to move away from that, but obviously it's addictive. So that is a journey that he is going to be going on. Viola is very conflicted about if she wants to be there or not. Like, she can tell that she's obviously helping the Duke by being there, but at the same time, obviously, she's lying to him about who she is and why he feels so drawn to her, because she is his old friend. And so she was kind of trying to escape the situation, but ended up staying because she decided that that was what was for the best for everyone, and obviously she is very drawn to him as well. I have to admit, I'm very eager to see his response when she reveals who she actually is and how he will handle that situation. I mean, obviously I'm hoping that he will handle her being a trans woman relatively well. I do have a feeling he will probably be a little angry that she left him to think her dead for the last 2 years, which she clearly didn't know that it would negatively impact him so much, but still, it obviously did, and he'll probably feel a lot of pain once he discovers that. For now, the two of them are setting about working together to help him kind of come out of his life slump and just become the man that he once was, if not even better. And I continue to enjoy the writing and the characters and the relationship development, even though I would say it is relatively fast pace. Like, he instantly was drawn to her and she him, but obviously a lot of that has to do with the fact that they technically know each other and technically have a past together, and also he's been very alone and isolated all this time, and so has she, technically, both by their own design, and are now finding kind of like a kindred soul in each other. And so I can see how both of them are very eager to feed the flames of this relationship. I do think I might do a little bit more reading today. I might also do a little bit of editing. Who knows? I still have a few hours that I'll be awake, but I probably won't check in with you until tomorrow. I have to admit, I don't know how many pages I have to read tomorrow, but I will let you know when I check in next. So, talk to you later. Hey guys, so it is a Tuesday. It is almost 4:30, so we are approaching the end of the workday. But I just wanted to pop in real quick and give you an update on A Lady for a Duke, because I have read the number of pages that I needed to. Today I only had to read 55 pages. I would have had to get to page 169 and I got to page 175. I don't know if I'll do any more reading today. I'm sure I'll read like a little bit more, but after work, I'm gonna head to the gym. Then I need a shower, wash my hair, and then I do want to finish editing Friday's video, because tomorrow I need to read 95 pages. So it's one of those slightly harder days, and I also have some things I want to do after work tomorrow, so I just want to make sure that I'm not having to edit my video or anything like that. Is anyone else like tired of watching me push this piece of hair behind my ear and it like not staying there? Because like honestly, it's the bane of my existence. Anyway, I am still enjoying this book. So we just kind of got to the point where the cat is out of the box kind of situation, and obviously that was a pretty emotional scene. I think both of them were not really sure how to react, and both of them were having very strong emotions and they were butting heads a little bit. And it seems that Viola has decided that it is best for them to just kind of go their separate ways. And considering this is a romance and I'm less than halfway through, I'm assuming that that's not gonna stick and that either he's gonna come back or she's gonna come back or whatnot. I have to admit, I am a little worried that this book is gonna be a little too long for a romance like this, but overall I am still really enjoying the book, and I think that there's just a lot that our characters need to work through. Justin, which is the name of the Duke, does have a lot of personal issues that he was just kind of starting to work through, and now the fact that he realizes this grief he's been feeling for the last 2 years wasn't exactly necessary because the person he was grieving was still alive this entire time is probably gonna throw a bit of a wrench into his recovery. But I'm hoping we can continue to watch him as he kind of learns to really address his emotions, because he's kind of been using a crutch for his grief, like in the form of alcohol and opium and things like that. And I'm just hoping that all the progress that he made in the week or so that he was with Viola doesn't get undone because of this. And obviously Viola is very devastated that her friend didn't have the reaction she was hoping to discovering her. I mean, obviously, I don't think that his reaction was like homophobic or anything like that, but it's also more old-timey writing, so sometimes I don't 100% know what they're saying, so maybe he said something wrong. But at the same time, I think that he was kind of making it a lot about himself. This situation, he was very much like, how could you leave me? How could you do this to me? And I think that he was just struggling to see things from her perspective. And hopefully that is something that as they talk more, or as he kind of sits in his feelings and kind of thinks everything through, he will start to realize that he was kind of wrong for doing that. Obviously, she lost a lot and made a very difficult decision, and him kind of being like, well, this negatively impacted me, was not the response that he should have had. But all the same, still enjoying it. Don't have too much more to say on it. Like I said, tomorrow I will try to read at least 95 pages of this book, and I probably will check in with you until tomorrow either. Something I forgot to mention, and I was like, I feel like I'm missing something when I finished that last clip, is that everyone is kind of unhappy right now. And they kind of have been for the last 2 years. And you kind of think about how a lot of their misery is coming from the fact that Viola had to kind of disappear off the face of the earth so that she could come back as who she was meant to be. But she had to make so many sacrifices just to feel comfortable in her own existence, in her own body. And at the same time, she had this moment where she was like, if I had been born, you know, a woman, if I'd been born biologically a female, we still couldn't have this relationship that seems to come so naturally to us, because the way men and women interact is very different than the way that men and men interact, or women and women interact. And it's just showing so much how the restrictions and judgments of the society that they live in is just kind of really tearing their relationship apart and bringing them a lot of unhappiness. So hopefully they find a way to be happy in a society that works so hard to restrict people's happiness. So I just wanted to pop in real quick because this is something that has just been standing out to me a lot. I'm on my 15-minute break here on, what is today? Wednesday. So I'm on page 220. I did end up reading to page 204 yesterday, and I have to read, what was it, like 94 pages or something today. So I need to get to page 298. But I just wanted to point out, and I forgot my bookmark, so I gotta smush my finger in there, that both of these people are like rather insecure. For two people that were born into high ranks, well-respected ranks, these people don't look very highly upon themselves. Viola is very insecure, obviously, about her appearance. She is very put together, very particular about her outfits and wearing a necklace, like a choker all the time. I don't know if she's trying to draw attention away from like her Adam's apple, things like that, and making sure that her gloves are beautiful and that her dress and shoes and all that matches, and just to always put her best face forward with like makeup and whatnot, and is insecure about her more masculine features, or features that may be considered more masculine, like a stronger jawline or less elegant hands and the such. And that is something that she has brought up a few times and is not something that the Duke has commented on. In fact, he comments quite frequently on her beauty, so it is obviously very much in her head, but she obviously has this fear of people looking at her and not fully seeing a woman. So it's very understandable. And the Duke, on the other hand, is very insecure about the fact that he has to use a cane due to an injury he sustained in the war. There's a lot of things he cannot do anymore. And I think I mentioned already that he is someone who is struggling to let people help him personally. He sees it as a weakness. He's supposed to be a duke. He's supposed to be a powerful, intimidating figure. And he feels like that he's just not displaying that because he's also someone who's struggling with addiction. And often people who are struggling with addiction are just not looking their best. They might look a little weathered and whatnot. So both of them are at this point not somewhere where they're super happy with who they are. And I think sometimes that's why both of them are struggling to really form a romantic relationship, because they're like, we don't want to go into this relationship broken. And so I'm kind of hoping that they spend some time really building themselves up. And then once they're happy and healthy with themselves, the Duke seems to have already kind of started this journey, which is great. But you know, you want to go into a relationship not with the intention of this relationship or this other person fixing you, but at the same time, you want to make each other stronger. So looking forward to their road to self-love and all that jazz, and continuing to enjoy this book. I don't know if I'll check in with you today. I will if I have more to say. Otherwise, I might not check in with you until tomorrow.
Ring, ring, the Christmas bells, ring, ring. Swinging my shopping bag, singing. Oh, ring, ring, the Christmas bells, ring, ring. I don't know how much I spent on this bling, bling, but I don't care what it costs. I'm leaving no name uncrossed. I got a list in my coat pocket stash, 'cause when they open their gifts, their mood will instantly lift, 'cause loved ones mean so much more than my cash.
So I feel like the lighting everywhere in my house right now is terrible, so we're gonna do this. I am on my last break of the day, and I just wanted to check in real quick because after work I'm leaving the house right away. Me and my parents are going to like a Christmas market kind of situation, and I just wanted to update you on where I was with a lady for a Duke. I wasn't kidding when I said that I would probably spend the rest of this vlog reading this book. So I'm on chapter 35, page 341, and I ended up getting to exactly page 300 yesterday. So I achieved my goal of reading 94 pages because I read 96. So we go above and beyond in this household. But today I believe I need to read 84 pages, so I still need to read another 40 or so pages today. Will I do that considering we'll probably get home relatively late and it's Thursday, so I still have to wake up early tomorrow and work? Probably not. I'm not going to be super optimistic about it. I feel like I don't have too many new things to say about this book. At this point, the relationship is definitely moving forward at a steady pace. I also feel like we're getting more of Justin's experience with his PTSD, and he has pretty extreme PTSD, definitely more than Viola, despite them both having gone through the war. And I think he very much sees that as a sign of weakness, that he seems to be reacting so much stronger to his trauma. But I am really glad that they are having those discussions, despite the fact that at this point in history, I don't think there was a name for it. There was no diagnosis for PTSD or anything like that. I think it is still being handled relatively well in this story. I am still continuing to enjoy the romance. I feel like this is a really romantic book, which this is a romance. You would be like, yeah, obviously it's romantic, but this is just, it's like a classic romantic kind of situation where, you know, it's not just like fun and goofy and sexy and things like that. It's like really, really romantic. So I'm really enjoying that. Other than that, I will say that I am really enjoying the side characters as well. I think they're a really interesting part of the story. I feel like at least 3 of them are possibly on the autism spectrum. Just the way that they act and the way that they respond to certain situations, I'm like, I feel like you might be on the spectrum. But obviously I'm not an autism expert or anything along those lines, but I am really enjoying those side characters. I feel like they're adding a lot to the story and are really important parts of our characters' lives and therefore important to the book as well. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say right now. Pretty short update. I definitely would like to read a little bit more today, and I think we only have about 100 pages left of the book, so I am really hoping to finish it in this vlog, meaning that I finish it by tomorrow when this vlog ends. And that's probably when I will check in with you. I'm not saying the next time I check in with you I'll be wrapping up this vlog, but that is also a possibility. We'll see how it goes, and I will talk to you later. So it is a Friday, a little after 3. I am on my 3 o'clock 15-minute break from work, so I figured I would check in with you real quick. Yesterday we went to the Christmas market. It actually had a few nice stands there, but it was super crowded, which is why I didn't do any filming or anything. It was packed like a can of sardines in there, but still super glad that we went. I did get some scented candle figures that obviously I'm not gonna burn because they're super cute. Unfortunately, I don't think she gave me her card, so I don't know the name of the artist, which is a bummer. But 2 of them are these cats. So we have one in this nice kind of turquoise color, and then we have, of course, your basic black cat, and they each have a different scent. I really want to say that this one's similar to like a blood orange kind of situation, and this one I have no idea, but it's delicious. This one seems a little sweeter. So I also got this little guy. I couldn't resist. He was looking at me and I couldn't leave him behind. It would be like abandoning your own child. He imprinted on me and now he is part of my family. I do need to think about names for them, what I want to name them. I was honestly thinking with these ones that I would name them Shilon and Hao Chen from Heaven's Official Blessing. That's probably what I'm going to name these. But as far as my little bat boy goes, I don't know what I'm going to name him yet. So we will have to think on that a little bit. But he's a super cutie and he smells nice as well. I will say these just sitting in my room, like not even being lit, my room already smells like them. So I'm like, I hope I don't get a headache from my room smelling like these guys, but we will see. Maybe I'll have to disperse them, maybe put one in my office or something. But otherwise, I did want to say that today my brain has been not at 100%. I woke up this morning at 6, was ready to go, and then something happened and it just kind of caused my brain to absorb some bad energy. I mean, nothing bad happened to me personally. I'm like fine, but it was just kind of a stressful situation that happened that negatively impacted my health despite not personally impacting me that much. It's the way it is, it happens, but I still managed to do some reading at my lunch break, even though I didn't get any done this morning. I ended up finishing A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall, and I was kind of going back and forth on ratings, but at the end of the day, I really knew which rating felt right, and it's a little lower than I would have liked considering it's a 5-star prediction, and that is 4 stars. I'm gonna give this book 4 stars, which seems kind of weird because there was a ton of things that I really liked about this book. I really liked the disability representation that we had, both in the form of physical disability due to a severe war injury, as well as mental disabilities such as PTSD that was described throughout this book. I obviously enjoyed the trans representation that was in this book, and also enjoyed the side characters. I enjoyed the romance quite a bit. As I already mentioned, I thought that it was very romantic and it was fun and at the same time somewhat like relaxing to read about. But throughout the majority of the story, I felt like I had a couple continuous thoughts, one of them being like, maybe the pacing is not 100%. I didn't think that the pacing was terrible, but it is a long book. It is, you know, almost 450 pages, which me personally, I'm kind of a romance girly where I'm like, the book usually can be under 400 pages. And I think that this book probably could have been under 400 pages for sure. And then there was also kind of this side plot revolving around the Duke's sister, which sometimes was intriguing. And I understand why the author did it, to kind of help develop the Duke's relationship with his sister. But at the same time, sometimes I was like, this feels a little random. But yeah, those are some of the reasons I couldn't quite give it a 5 stars. But overall, I really did enjoy the writing and the romance aspect of the story. And I'm super glad that I finally got to it. Hurrah! And yeah, that is a chunker that I have off my TBR. Now, I believe yesterday I may have said that today is the last day of the vlog, but after I looked at my dates again that I had listed for when each vlog would go through, I saw that tomorrow is actually the last day. So today's not the last day. I'm not here to end this vlog. We're moving forward. You get a little bit more of me, and we are gonna go ahead and start our next book. And this book, once I finish it, will allow me to get another bingo. And we're finally getting to a Christmas book, and that is going to be Redemption. This book is written by Kenya Wright, and it is a contemporary romance, and we seem to be following a man who used to be a part of a crime family, but his entire family has been wiped out and he has kind of left that scene and lives very much in isolation. I don't know if he's in hiding or if he just wants to be alone, but either way, he prefers to be alone until one day a woman and her 2 children get stranded at his house during a snowstorm. He and this woman start developing feelings for each other, but she is actually on the run from an abusive partner, and in hopes of winning her over, he decides or tells her that he will protect her and her children from this person. So this is a book I've been meaning to read at Christmas for the last couple years, and I'm super excited to be getting to it. This is another book that should be on KU, so help me if I go now to download it and it's not there anymore. I'm gonna shake my fist like a grandpa at my computer. So hopefully I get started on that pretty soon. I am planning on going to the gym tonight, and I'll probably spend about 20 or so minutes on the treadmill. So that's probably when I will start this bad boy. I was hoping to do some editing today on this vlog, but because everything got pushed back a little bit because of my not super duper great mental health, I will probably end up doing a little bit of editing tonight. Tomorrow is my dad's birthday, so I don't know how much I will be here. I don't really know what we will be doing and whatnot. All the same, I'm sure I will be checking in with you at least once tomorrow. I will say, in order to finish my book, I only had to read 40 pages, and I do have to read like 103 pages or something like that. So I have to read another 60 something pages today in order to achieve that goal. Will that happen? I feel like I always say that in the last couple of days I have made it work, but today, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It depends on how quick of a read this book is. But that is all I have to say for now, and I will go ahead and check in with you later.
Things that I usually don't. Find my way through the hotel lobby. Make the same when I'm on my own. All my friends think I'm with somebody, doing things that I usually don't. Find my way through the hotel lobby. Make the same when I'm on my own. Uptown on the before, rooftops, sliding doors. Just wanna know you more. I hope you wanna be with somebody, spending all of the night moonwalking, and with the view she could see her building. Try to tell her I know I feel it. Keep me floating when I'm on my back. Slow me down when I'm living fast. Things that I usually don't. Find my way through the hotel lobby. Make the same when I'm on my own. All my friends think I'm with somebody, doing things.
It is Saturday. It is around 5:30 in the evening. We are heading out to a birthday dinner for my dad in just a little while, probably about 15 minutes or so. So I just wanted to check in real quick to let you know how I was doing on redemption. So I am on page 107, which I think is about 27% through the book. I would need to have read to page 110 to achieve my goal of reading 70 pages today, which I'm assuming once I get home, I will read at least another chapter. So I'm pretty confident that I will go ahead and achieve that today. But I wanted to make sure that once I got home if need be, I could just wrap this vlog up real quick. That being said, just a quick update on my reading yesterday. I believe, I'm looking down at my little notepad here, that I only read 43 pages of this book yesterday, and so I only read 83 pages, and I would have had to read 103. So I didn't achieve my goal yesterday, but I spent some time editing last night, and unfortunately by the time I actually started reading, it was already like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm not someone who stays up past 11, so I didn't have a lot of time to do any reading. But as far as my thoughts on the story, it is definitely darker than I thought it would be. I mean, I knew that it would probably have some violence and whatnot in it, but just heads up, trigger warnings for on-page domestic violence, both against our main character Ebony as well as against her children, specifically her oldest daughter. The story starts out with them being at their new home. It seems they've been on the run from her husband Wyatt for about 3 years, and he shows up and causes some injuries against them, and she in turn injures him and takes that opportunity to once again flee. And unfortunately that night there's a pretty bad snowstorm, so she ends up at Yoshiro's home, and he kind of welcomes them in, and once he hears her story, decides that he is wanting to kill her husband. I think I also mentioned that the reason he had left the gang was because they had killed his family. I was under the impression that they like killed his mother, or maybe like killed his brother or something, but they killed his wife and his newborn child. So that was really depressing to read about, and he's been grieving for about 5 years. And I think one of the reasons that he is so quick to want to help Ebony and her children is because he was never able to save his own family, and he kind of has the opportunity to save this woman and her children. So I will say that the story is definitely intriguing me. Would I consider it a Christmas story? So far, no. But the way I've been kind of describing it is that if you consider Die Hard a Christmas movie, then maybe you could consider this a Christmas book as well. I feel like the writing is decent, nothing super special. I have to admit, despite the fact that I definitely feel deeply for the characters, I think I definitely still need some time to learn more about them and have the two of them learn about each other a bit more before I can start buying into any sort of romance. But I do think that this book is a little bit over 400 pages, so we still have plenty of time to get to know our characters a bit more and learn more about them and all that jazz. But yeah, for now I think that's all I have to say on the story, and I will go ahead and check in with you later tonight before I head to bed to wrap up this book, and or not wrap up this book, wrap up this vlog, and just kind of let you know what I accomplished this week, and to let you know what the challenge is for next week. So it is Friday evening, a little after 10, and I am ready to get ready for bed and watch some YouTube before I hit the hay. And I just wanted to go ahead and check in and wrap up this vlog. I did end up reading another chapter of Redemption, and that got me to page 119. So I did read a total of 76 pages today, and I needed to read 70, so I did accomplish my goal today. I don't really have anything new to say about the book. One thing I will say is that I do kind of feel like things are going kind of fast, but the female character, Ebony, I believe her name was, kind of feels the same way about the situation, but at the same time, she's like, well, it's better than being on the run, because Yashiro has asked her if she wanted to stay on his property long term, so she wouldn't have to continue to run. And obviously they've only known each other for like a few hours, so that might seem rather sudden, but it is what it is. It's a romance. We're going with it. I am still having a good time with it, but for now that's all I have to say on that. And I just kind of want to wrap up what I did reading wise this week. So once again, this week's challenge was to read the number of pages equal to the number of times I picked up my phone. So I have my little sheet here, my cheat sheet here. So on the 9th, I was to read 110 pages. I did not do that. I only read 74 pages of A Junk Shop Blues. Then on the 10th, I had to read 80 pages and I read 97 pages, so I did succeed. And I had finished Junk Shop Blues on that day and then started A Lady for a Duke. And then on the 11th, I needed to read at least 60 pages and I ended up reading 64 pages of A Lady for a Duke, and so I succeeded on that day. On the 12th, I had to read 55 pages at least, and I ended up reading 90 pages, so I went above and beyond on that day. And then on the 13th, I had to read 94 pages, and I read 96 pages of this book. And then on the 14th, I had to read 81 pages. I read 109, so once again succeeded. And then on the 15th, I had to read 103 pages and I only read 83 pages. I finished off this book and then I started Redemption. And then today, obviously, needed to read 70, read 76 of Redemption. So it looks like the only days that I didn't succeed were the 2 days where I had to read over 100 pages. But otherwise, it looks like I did a pretty good job and read a total of 689 pages this week, which isn't too shabby, especially considering I read only physical books and no audiobooks whatsoever. Hopefully next week I pick up my audiobook again, because I'm actually about 50% through an audiobook. I just wasn't in the mood to pick it up this week, and we'll see how I'm feeling next week. As for my challenge next week, I would like to read a total of 24 hours within the 7-day period, so that comes to about 3.5 hours a day. I would really prefer if it was physical reading and not audiobook reading, which, considering how little I'm picking up my audiobook, is probably what will happen. But we will go ahead and see how that works out. I'll definitely be trying to get up and at it in the morning on the weekdays so I can get at least an hour of reading in before work, but that one will go through tomorrow, which is Sunday, to next Saturday. So I hope that you stick around to watch that video. I will say that this Monday my mother is leaving to Germany, and so I probably will have more things that I need to do around the house. She is the primary cook, and so I will have to try and figure out how to make time for making dinner after work and like a normal person. I'm spoiled, I'm sorry, especially on days when I go to the gym, because I often don't get home until 7, and so I might need to prep some meals, and obviously that'll all take time away from reading, but I'm gonna stay optimistic that I can accomplish this goal. And obviously with this challenge, it's just to read 24 hours by the end of the week, so if I fall short on one day, I can always try and make it up on another day. That being said, thank you guys for sticking around for this week 2 vlog. I'm hoping that it's not as long as week 1, but I haven't gotten too far into editing it, so I have no idea how long or short this is gonna be. But as always, thank you so much for supporting my channel by watching my videos, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!